In today's episode, Sao Paulo delivers chaos again in the championship fight as things get very, very close and tetchy for our championship contenders with plenty of twists and turns. This one is a classic here at Brazil, let me tell you. But we're coming off the back of a very interesting Singapore Grand Prix where right at the end of the race there was some surprise, but there was plenty of different surprises throughout the entire race of Singapore. We pit early, trying to get a big undercut on the dry tyres, and we got completely sidelined by a poorly timed safety car that screwed me over. But then on the second last lap, things turned again as Verstappen, one of our biggest championship rivals, lost 2 places in the span of a couple of corners to give Antonelli, the driver who won that race as an AI, the lead in the championship. It was Antonelli's second race win of the season, but, you know, he did it on his own as an AI driver. And like I alluded to in that episode, it was very impressive, the nature and the way he did it, you know, dominating the entire race, basically, as obviously us driving as Piastri, we won for Piastri in Baku the race before, and I thought, oh, we've got some good momentum, and then that safety car really put a damper on it. Otherwise, I feel like we would have been fighting for the win, honestly. But we did well to come back through that and, you know, make up for it. And as we head into the last 3 rounds of the season, bit of a shock announcement here as Carlos Sainz has announced that he is retiring from Formula 1. So that's going to be quite a big domino, I hope at least, in the driver market. One of the Mercedes drivers retiring. Obviously, Lando Norris is the reigning champion, still at Mercedes, we assume, for the next season, but maybe that's going to change. I don't know. I'm hoping, though, that, you know, one big seat vacated at a quote-unquote top team, I hope that is going to shake things up and allow some better transfers than we maybe had over the last season into this one. But as we head into Sao Paulo, then we of course swap over from Piastri to Antonelli. We've sorted out the fairness of the number of times we've swapped over with those double races we did with Antonelli and then Piastri. So now till the end, it'll be that usual bouncing around. So it'll be Antonelli, Piastri, and then Antonelli that sees us off at the end of the season. And that could be quite, you know, apt because he is the championship leader and he has gone from strength to strength, driving, you know, with us or as an AI driver. Let's go to Brazil.
Atmospheric tracks don't come much better than this. We're in Brazil for qualifying. Let's get some laps at the limit.
Sao Paulo race weekend, of course, a sprint weekend. So for the final time, we've got the shortened qualifying and 2 different race sessions to get through in this episode. It's looking a little bit overcast. Antonelli in good spirits, though, of course, off the back of taking the championship lead back from Max Verstappen in quite a smash and grab, it felt like in Singapore, with that fall away on the second last lap. That was actually, you know, that might honestly be very important come the end of the season, that lap at Singapore, lap 30. But yeah, very cloudy and overcast, doom and gloom. There's no actual forecast for rain, though, this race weekend. So we'll see. You can never really count it out here in Brazil. As we cross the line, it's P1 at the time, and by the end of this session, it's going to be P1. It's incredibly close, though, by the way. There's 4 tenths, half a second covering the top 10, 0.087 between ourselves and Paul Aaron. But whereas that Williams Porsche is up there in second, what's going on with Tsunoda? Once again, horrendous time for him over 1 lap. And it's performances like that in quali that are seeing Tsunoda kind of out of a realistic shot at the title, you know? Maybe 4 episodes ago, you would have given him a chance. But, you know, performances like that, certainly counting him out. But we've been on a very strong streak of qualifying, you know? Usually not my strongest suit on the F1 game ever, qualifying, but the last 3-4 qualifying's been very, very strong, and that is a pole, sprint pole, for this sprint coming up. The best place to be, but Verstappen's right there in third as we go to lights out, and we're underway for 12 laps here on the Saturday in Sao Paulo. 3 wide maybe as Verstappen goes around the outside. Paul Aaron was the one that really forced the move, though, on the inside, surprisingly, being on the medium tyre, and he's managed to get such a good getaway. Verstappen, though, aggressive as ever. He's taken the chance. We're going to try to maybe go down the inside, but we just didn't have enough overspeed, and in fact, we're actually getting all over the curb, and Bortoleto is attacking me, the Brazilian, the home favourite indeed, on the inside, but we manage to stay ahead in third place. But that's been a bit of a scruffy lap one. Getting overtaken by 2 cars, not ideal, but it just wasn't the best launch for me, and then we kind of felt a bit awkward. I tried to cover the inside, but then I had to cover the outside because Verstappen's there. He's my main, focus, really, because at this stage of the season now, I think you'll admit, the best plan is to cover Verstappen, is try to focus on what he's doing, because all the other drivers, they need miracles to really get into the championship fight, and this is why we need to be worried about Verstappen, because when he is brilliant, he is just unbeatable. As he gets into P1 here, he's going to try and get the sprint lead, but Aaron fights back, and we might be able to swoop in for the double overtake from the right to left. DRS open, bit of battery use, and we get down the inside. It is the double overtake on Aaron and Verstappen. Brilliant stuff. That made up for that one. Certainly, as Piastri is going to get squeezed out by Ocon there, down in P7. He's obviously still got a chance of the title, but he needs to pull his socks up, to be fair, though, in a sprint, P7 to P1. Yeah, there's a bit of difference there, but it's not night and day, I suppose, and I'm sure Piastri will be able to get up a few positions, and there's no guarantee I win it, and there's no guarantee Verstappen does, because Aaron gets into the lead as Verstappen is actually getting overtaken, maybe, by Bortoleto. What's going on here? The Honda finding some speed. Verstappen now has to repass the Brazilian. He's getting so aggressive, though, Bortoleto. These two friends in real life, here in the game, bitter rivals, and was that a bit of carbon fibre flying off the McLaren? Verstappen was definitely opposite lock, drifting through that level. Oh, he's gone wide! Oh, Verstappen half spins it. He's made contact with the Ferrari, and now there's definitely damage. He's got no end plate. The front right end plate's off. It is off. Oh, that's big. This is massive for the championship, as Bortoleto giving his mates a real good fight here in front of the home crowd. So Verstappen, here's a replay, going for the repass then, having been done at the center S, gets down the inside, but there's definitely some sort of contact. Whoa, big amount of oversteer. It doesn't look like there was contact there, but for whatever reason then, Verstappen goes super wide. I think he's got floor damage. He then gets spat out by the curb and then whacks the Ferrari, and the Ferrari is the one that gives him the end plate damage, I believe, running on board with Piastri. There you go. Oh, that's a hefty clout. And so Verstappen, he's down to P6 now on lap 4, and he's going to get overtaken by Piastri. Remember, both Piastri and Antonelli, the driver we're driving as right now, both of us are in the title fight. Both of our drivers are in the title fight with Verstappen. So the fact that Piastri's overtaking Verstappen there is big. That is big. And I know I just said, the sprint, maybe there's not that many points in it. If you don't get in the points at all, and you're up there, then there is a big difference. Piastri, he's up to P6. P6 to P2, okay, it's some difference, but not major. If Verstappen drops down to out the points, up to P2, that's, 7 points? That's the same difference as getting a win to being in second place for a full Grand Prix. That does make a difference. That is quite big, actually, for Verstappen. So, make no mistake, this actually is a huge moment in the championship. This could blow it completely for Max towards our end and put the ball in our court. Obviously, there's still the Grand Prix to go. There's still Vegas. There's still Abu Dhabi. But if we get another 7 points on him, and we're only a couple of points ahead right now, this could be a big moment to get just a bit of breathing room, you feel, going into those final 2 races. But of course, the full Grand Prix to come here today, so that's also going to give us breathing room just for the Grand Prix proper, just to not take too many risks in that, because Sao Paulo can be very chaotic. There's no need to get caught up in an accident, for example, around here. As we watch, Bortoleto did try to overtake me, but eventually we get into a groove and kind of shrug him off, and he's actually now under attack by Colapinto here, trying to go on the outside. Franco giving it a good go for the Red Bull into third place. And actually, I think Colapinto, he might be, you know, now with the Tsunoda being out of it, like, you know, in P10, Colapinto might be one of the nearest drivers to the top 3 in the standings. So maybe there's still a tiny, tiny outside mathematical chance for Colapinto or Tsunoda still. We're going to have to see what the standings look like at the end of the episode, of course. But Verstappen, he's down to P9. He's down to P9. That damage on the front wing, I'm adamant he's got floor damage. That's a nail in the coffin for this sprint race. And, well, we can't actually catch Aaron. Aaron is actually showing some amazing pace, which actually more succinctly kind of, you know, just shows up Tsunoda. Like, you know, what was Tsunoda doing over one lap in sprint quali? He could have been right up here getting some big points in this sprint. Instead, he's overtaking Verstappen for P9, but neither of these positions are for points in the sprint. But Tsunoda gets it done anyway on principle, but he should be up there. Aaron showing the Williams Porsche clearly has still some speed to show in the season, but they've just been very inconsistent in this second half. And the same for Ferrari. Obviously, they threw things away in Singapore with a double no points finish. You know, not pitting under the safety car was ludicrous stuff for Ferrari, but they're also showing they've still got a little bit of pace in there. They're up to P3, and obviously they're worlds better than they were last season. So, you know, as we get to the end of the season, reflecting on how teams have done, I think Ferrari can be happy with how improved they've been this season. Honda definitely disappointed overall. As was that? Oh, yeah. I was going to say, is there a car that's gone wide? It was. It's Maloney. He's retired from this one, parked up. Obviously, being a sprint, there's going to be no safety car or anything like that. Also into the last 2 laps, so there never is on the F1 game. But Verstappen's humiliation is nearly complete, as he might get overtaken by Crawford in the Audi of all people, as Aaron is going to sail through to, in the end of it, his medium tyre, a dominant 5-second lead as all of our soft tyres wear away. I think Ocon is even also on the mediums, catching me a little bit, so we actually only narrowly finish in P2, you know, a couple of more laps and Ocon probably would have overtaken me, but it's a very solid second place. Mark's very happy about that podium, and in the context of where Verstappen is, that is massive for Antonelli. You know, we're already in the lead, the championship with Antonelli by, I think it was 2 points, wasn't it? But this is going to be a big 7 points. So we're going to have a 9-point lead over Verstappen. Piastri also gains a bit on Max, obviously loses out to Antonelli. So it's kind of, you know, Piastri's a bit, you know, right now in this episode, it's a little bit difficult for him. You know, he's gained on Max, but he's lost out to us, his teammates. So obviously it's going to be a case of in Vegas, can we, for his sake, try and bounce back a little bit and claw back more points for him. But at the moment, Antonelli definitely looking like the one in the driving seat, let's say, into the last 3 Grand Prix, as we now go towards the full qualifying for the Brazilian Grand Prix. A little bit less overcast now, but time of day a little bit lower. The sun's a bit lower, and there's going to be plenty of shadows as we load in. Unfortunately, actually a big electrical issue with the car.
Right, I've got a little bit of an electrical problem at the moment. We're working on it, so don't worry. We're going to get you out there as soon as possible.
So just after getting a 7-point advantage on Verstappen, of course, our car has an electrical system fault. It's like it's been written in the stars. You know, the F1 gods think, oh, okay, this is getting a bit too easy maybe for us. And they've thrown a spanner in the works here of an electrical system fault. Of course, we're doing short quali, as we always do in the sprint weekend. So this will eat into our time a little bit, but we will have time to go for 2 laps. We do get 2 sets of soft tyres in this session. But at the moment, Piastri's only P21, having set a time. What's up with that? That's a little bit concerning, because we said a purple lap. Oh, no, purple first sector. We've dipped a tyre into the grass there. The rear end stepped out, and we got it all crossed up. That's really poor from me. That just miscalculated, going a bit wide there to take, you know, a more aggressive line in. And maybe that's a little bit of pressure, potentially, you know? Maybe subconsciously, just feeling a bit of pressure, you know, having less time in the session, and now really less time. I make sure to take that turn a lot less aggressive. We're still purple first sector. Piastri's pulled himself off of P21, but Albon, what are you doing, man? Oh, Albon, we just narrowly get past him, but there was a bit of contact made. That Ferrari definitely held us up. Green for second sector. What is it going to be? We've used all our battery, 3% left as we cross the... What? Oh my days, what a difference a day makes. Sprint pole to 12th place. Verstappen was in 13th behind us. Piastri goes P13. Where's Verstappen at? What? What a topsy-turvy full qualifying. Colapinto in the Red Bull Ford on pole. Sonoda, maybe hearing my commentary, makes up for what happened in the sprint. He's second place, but Verstappen 16th. We're 12th and 13th. All three of us, the closest championship protagonists, outside the top 10. What on earth is that about? Both Cadillacs have beaten us. Both Haas cars have out-qualified all three of us. What a crazy quali. That's classic Sao Paulo. There wasn't even any rain and everything got blown up and mixed up in the order. Even an Audi is in the top 10. And one that Solov is in P4. That's crazy. If this is any sign of things to come in the full race, this might be a bonkers one. Strap yourselves in. Let's go to the grid.
Welcome to where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner, and just 1 year later, Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's time then for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Franco Colapinto lines up on pole position, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Solov, Aaron, Liam Lawson, and Norris. Barnard, Pepe Marti, Martins, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Piastri, Gasly, Zach O'Sullivan, and Ocon. Verstappen, Sainz, Gabriel Bortoletto, and Alex Albon. Stroll, Crawford, Maloney, and Jack Doohan. And now it's time to head down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Shakes. Alongside me, a real authority on all things motor racing. It's a warm welcome back to Anthony Davidson. Well, it's an excellent sprint yesterday, but we're back to the usual format now. How do they continue what they started?
Absolutely. You know, they're at one with their car. You could see that in the sprint. That's why they were successful there. And you've got to carry that through into this race today. And in a way, we've had a snapshot as well of what this driver's capable of.
So it's one Cadillac and one Renault with a grid penalty, so that elevates ourselves and Piastri up to P10 and 11. Verstappen will be up 2 places as well, no doubt, so he's going to be 14. So we're all still, you know, very much out of position. We've got still one Cadillac, 2 Haas up there, both Red Bulls are up there, and Williams. So this is a big chance for some chasing teams and drivers to maybe claw back any sort of crumb of possibility of going for the title in the last 2 races. It is very overcast, so I really do feel like this looks like rain's about to come, so who knows how this one is going to go as we go to 5 red lights. The Brazilian Grand Prix, always a classic at the end of the season, lights out. And we're underway from P10. And oh, there's a lot of movement ahead. We nearly get put in the wall by Marty. We're in the thick of it, in the middle of the pack. It is always a chance of something. And that is the danger of being in the midfield. Thankfully, we weren't anywhere near that. But Carlos Sainz has been taken out. And he nearly collected Stroll with him. And because of that, it's gone from a safety car to a red flag, because the track was blocked at the racing line, and that's a replay then. Sainz crashed into someone else and kind of ricocheted across to Lance Stroll, but that's the kind of thing you kind of worry about, you know, being somewhere like P10, P11, P14 in Sao Paulo, especially because this is such a narrow part of the circuit to get you underway as we go to lights out for this second time then. And we're now from P10 still, Piastri 11th. It's a bit of a slower getaway for us. This time not going to flirt with the wall. It is 3 wide ahead though between the BWT Haas, the Audi, the Red Bulls. We try and go around the outside. No, Barnard's hit us. No, we've got damage. We've come across the grass. We're down to P11 and now Max Verstappen tries to overtake us. We try to slam the door shut, but Verstappen, the first time of asking, gets down the inside and tries to overtake us. We're now going to be neck and neck as we go down the crest now into Sector 2, desperate to try and stay ahead, but no, instead we give him a love tap on the rear end. We then get squeezed out by Bortoletto, and at the moment it feels like we're being bullied at every position possible by the AI. We're down to 16th place, 16th, with floor damage as well off Barnard. Oh, this is awful. This is not ideal. We've got a whole race to go with some pretty hefty floor damage, and let me tell you, compared to some other races, it's feeling significant. You know, other tracks you can maybe get away with some floor damage and bargeboard damage. Around Sao Paulo, it's such a high to medium speed corner. You constantly need that aero balance mid-corner as you're flirting with throttle through some of the corners in Sector 2 and Sector 3. This is going to affect us for sure, and it's feeling that way already, I can tell you, as Verstappen up the road trying to get up into 11th place. He's done so on the Renault. Meanwhile, Piastri also looking to make moves. I mean, all of us are still outside the top 10, but oh yeah, this car is a boat now. I have to adjust my brake zone. The problem there was I just hit the brakes as late as I would usually, and we just nearly understeered off the circuit. We've narrowly stayed ahead of Lance Stroll, so I'm going to need to adjust my brake points as Verstappen actually gets re-overtaken by the Renault. What's going on here? So is Verstappen not looking as strong as I would have thought versus the Renault as we absolutely launch on Bortoletto. That one was a bit of a anger sort of dive bomb from me, just wanting to get past Bortoletto after he played a part in us getting squeezed off a little bit on that red flag restart, as Verstappen now once again makes the move on O'Sullivan in the Renault. Piastri now lining up a pass maybe for 12th place, but this is all still for 0 points right now. There's nearly a 2-second gap to the first championship point in this race of Martin, so 5 laps in and we're all still not fighting for anything, as Colapinto's the one leading and dominating this race. He's on the soft though, both chasing Williams Porsches on the medium, so you feel like right now he might be quick, but that Red Bull will slow down eventually as there's a big collision at turn 1. It's Lando Norris. He's out of the Grand Prix. He's parked up on the right, and it becomes a virtual safety car as the FIA will try and get that out of the way, and no, they've converted it. They've converted it to a full safety car. Makes sense, actually, because that's a bit of a tricky place for marshals to get the car from if that was real life, so makes sense. No one's come in, though, on this safety car because it's too early. It's way too early to come in on lap 8. The first pit stop would be around, I think, lap 15, 14 at earliest, so lap 7, lap 6 was just way too early to come in under the safety car. So we all carry on, and on the restart, launching it at turn 1, trying to get the overtake on Ocon, narrowly missing our own teammate Oscar Piastri. That would have been quite awkward if we misjudged that, but we're up to one more position, 13th place, but quite amazingly it's still not any points for either me or Oscar, and Verstappen is only now into P10, chasing after Martins for P9. So this is it's been a very slow progress race for all three of us championship contenders, honestly, as Ocon is coming at us back very aggressive, I must say, as he made contact with us as he tried to go around the outside. So the Ferrari may not be in the title fight, but is certainly trying to get in the middle of the title fight by annoying us and not allowing us to close up to our teammate Piastri as there's movement ahead. Lawson fighting Soloff for P4 and 5 there. The two Haas are doing amazingly so far to still be in the top 6. You can see Colapinto closed down by Tsunoda and Aaron after that safety car has brought them back into play, and now at this point obviously the soft tyre is wearing out, so Tsunoda to that effect on the outside looking to get the lead of the race as it's Renault versus the Cadillac, and the Renault's off. It's another Renault dilemma. Their car made with blue tack this season. Oh, Zach O'Sullivan, he's out, he's airborne. It's another flip, and I swear Bortoletto just overtook us. I swear to God, Bortoletto just overtook us on the yellows. How is that? What? Okay, great. Good to know the FIA are really keeping on top of everything as Piastri's in, we're in, a lot of us are in. I actually say a lot of us, half and half. Half of us have come in, including Verstappen. So all three championship contenders have come in under the safety car because lap 12, feels like it's late enough to make that free pit stop, going onto hard tyres to get to the end of the race. Oh, this is painful. Oh, this double stack's a nightmare. Oh, that's so slow. And I just saw, was that Piastri on softs? The two cars ahead of us on softs as well. So those guys have got to make a second stop then. I think Verstappen was even on softs. I've gone on hards because, well, in my opinion, we're going to the end of the race from here, aren't we? Maybe not so for many other people who have just come in. They're all on soft tyres. So they're going for a 2-stop then. Okay, that might play into our hands as on the safety car restart, Soloff is leading the way in the pink BWT Haas. That's quite a sight. Lawson second, Marty third, Barnard in the Audi in P4. What an eclectic order that is, as we are technically stone dead last and as we overtake Doohan for P18. So we've got it all to do, but knowing that it seems like about half this grid need to make a pit stop because half of them didn't even come in under the safety car. And then the other half came in for softs. So I think if we can genuinely take this tyre to the end, we might be looking very, very good. This might be another finesse of the AI completely, as this could catapult ourselves up into, dare I say, even a podium race win even, you know? Because if everyone ahead of us is pitting, which I think literally all of them have to at some point, either for their first pit stop or off the softs, I think we're looking good. But Gasly right now is the highest man in a quote-unquote top car fighting the Audi, as we've got Maloney and the Renault either side. Lock up for us, so we try and give the Renault a squeeze, and Doohan crashes into the wall. We locked up trying to defend him, and I think Doohan basically drove himself into the wall because the gap was ever closing, and that is going to be another safety car in this race, and that is going to give a chance for people to come in who hadn't before. And so they're all in, but you can see all the drivers that did come in previously who are on softs, they've stayed out, but they can't go to the end on softs. There's 20 laps left, so we're P6 already. Surely the 5 ahead of us pit, and we're going to be P1 then. The safety car's going to change things though a little bit, because obviously we won't have the massive gap advantage, but we are going to have track position surely. As I didn't make a move on Piastri there on purpose, because knowing he's on softs, you know, he's going to pit eventually, so why bother trying to fight him too much? Although saying that, off the back of the Center S, the car not looking too quick, you know, as Lawson goes down the inside. And I got to tell you, in the cockpit, the car suddenly started to feel absolutely awful. Now, I've got to give some context. Actually, in the middle of this race, my wheel disconnected itself because of its own rattling. Like, I think maybe one of my cables on the back of my wheel is a bit loose. I don't know if that's anything to do with it, but basically I was giving it throttle, but it just never felt like my throttle was actually working fully properly as it was previously, as I'm getting absolutely swarmed now whilst deploying battery. I'm boxed in. That was the worst POV ever of the race weekend. I just got overtaken by 3 cars. I mean, our car is going as slow as a GP2 car right now, and whilst that's happening, Verstappen is overtaking Colapinto for second place, albeit he will have to pit again. All of these guys will, but it's not a great sight seeing him in second place. Piastri's 5th, and we're down to 9th place right now, and I had no idea what to do. I unplugged my wheel, I plugged it back in. It just felt like I was being nerfed by my own wheel or something. I don't know what went on, but we're down to 14th place. So this is, well, this is a first for me. This is like genuine mechanical issues IRL with my own equipment. I'm going to have to look into this and make sure this is fixed for the next episode, but there's not really much I can do, in all honesty. I'm trying to go as quick as I can, but we are as slow as a turtle. There's no other analogy, really. And Verstappen, he's overtaken for first. He's going for first. You know how I said before with the qualifying electrical issue, the F1 gods looking down upon? Is it maybe possible the F1 gods have looked down upon us IRL and stricken down my wheel You know, I've had a very good track run, you know, about 15 odd years. I've never really had an issue with any of my wheels. I still have the same pedals that I've used since F1 2013, basically. Maybe this is a sign of time to upgrade and change, maybe. Maybe they're finally giving up on me. I don't know, but it was, yeah, I mean, I felt a bit helpless, but we had done so much of the race already that I didn't want to, you know, just abandon it, basically. And also at the same time, in a weird way, it's kind of like a, you know, cool sort of mechanical failure of my own in real life. And Verstappen now making his pit stop. Piastri's going to make his pit stop. And to be fair, this is going to show, actually, by the way, this is going to show how much of an advantage we would have had my wheel not started playing up, or whatever the hell was happening started happening, because Piastri pits here for his stop off the softs. And this second stop is so disastrous for all these guys in terms of pushing them down the order, that I am actually, with my massive issue and lack of pace for the rest of this race, I'm actually going to look to pass Piastri because of how much you lose in that pit stop, that extra pit stop. So we're going to be ahead of Piastri on the pit lane exit. Of course, he's on fresh tyres, so I basically wave him by because there's no point holding him up. But yeah, right now, it's not looking great as a team. 15th and 16th. It's giving Zandvoort. It's giving what happened in Zandvoort, where it was a disaster, 0 points for either of our drivers. As Pierre Gasly is the driver that has emerged with a very cushy, nearly 6-second gap in the Red Bull Ford. Lawson second place. It's a Haas in third. It's Stroll in the McLaren fighting a Ferrari for fourth place. Both Ferraris actually might be on the back of the McLaren right now. And Verstappen is in P8, so Verstappen is currently the only driver of the three of us in the points. This is a worry. This is going to be a problem for us in terms of the standings at the end of the race if a miracle doesn't happen for us or Piastri, because right now he's out of the points. So even he's not gaining that much or anything on my demise, driving as Antonelli right now, as Ocon is still trying to get a go on Stroll. And he's finally done it. So both Ferraris are through into fourth and fifth. Verstappen is there now. He's still P8, but he's now tucked up right underneath the rear wing of Maloney. We'll look for the pass here on to lap 29. There are 7 laps to go, and Verstappen is looking pretty punchy on the outside. Stroll fighting Ocon still, so there's maybe still some hope for Stroll to be up there in the top 5, but Verstappen is trying to finish off this move on Maloney. He hops, skips and jumps over that curb, it looked like, as Ocon and Stroll are having an absolutely titanic scrap, it would seem, ahead of them, and it's going to take an entire lap, but Verstappen is finally going to book in this overtake on Maloney, I think, in Sector 2, but this has been going on for literally an entire lap now. They're still side by side, still going, and only now does Verstappen get up into 7th. And surely Stroll, you would imagine, just waves him by, to be honest. But in fact, actually, Verstappen has to go for a ballsy lunge on his own teammate to make this overtake, because Stroll's too busy trying to overtake Ocon. So Verstappen just gets it done by himself. He's up to 6th place now, and with 5 laps to go, I think he could still get up to 5th place even on Ocon. Let's see. That's the worry, though. That's the real worry for us, because Piastri, P14, it's a howler for both our cars. I've got my own problems. I actually don't know what's happening with Piastri. I don't know why he's so slow now. So I don't know. Maybe it's not a wheel issue. Maybe it's a car issue with our team. I don't know. Because I thought Piastri was going to recover to at least a couple of points. But Verstappen's the one recovering. And in fact, I gain and overtake on Piastri. Me, the person who has had no pace for half of this race. We've just overtaken Piastri. So I don't know what's going on. I'm starting to think maybe it was a car issue for both our cars. I don't know. Ocon's been done, and now Verstappen, it's the worst scenario. He's climbed up to 4th place. 4th place. He's going to gain 12 points here. So that's our entire gap eroded that we had with Antonelli. And that's going to put a decent dent on Piastri's chances, but we're watching Tsunoda catch up to Ocon and Maloney. Ocon going for the move. Tsunoda on the outside. Oh, amazing overtake. Is it for the Japanese driver? Double overtake. Insane. Outside move for Yuki into P6. But, yeah, with Piastri behind us, And now behind an Audi, you can see on the ladder, I think there was actually an in-game car issue with both our cars, as Pierre Gasly is going to win this race seemingly out of nowhere. It's Red Bull Ford's a second win of the season. Gasly's first, obviously Colapinto won earlier on, that really honestly has come out of nowhere, because Gasly just seemingly didn't even make that many overtakes, honestly, to get to that position. Verstappen P4, 12 points on the board, and we're 14th and 16th. I think there was something funny going on with our car. I think that's a car issue. You know how like sometimes AI can get mechanical issues and it just slows them down? I think that's clearly what's happened to us and Piastri, because that's the only explanation I can find with why he's also down the order and we're both here. At first I thought it was my wheel because it disconnected midway through the race, but now I'm thinking it's some sort of car issue, which is quite concerning. I mean, it may as well have been an engine failure at this rate, essentially.
It's a brilliant drive, and it will be rewarded with a trip to the top step. Pierre Gasly takes the checkered flag.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they're able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
Now it is time to start the celebrations as we welcome our top three. And Pierre Gasly onto the top step of the podium.
So after all that happened in the sprint, Verstappen is actually the one that comes out on top, 3 points ahead of Antonelli. Piastri's now a little bit out of it, 14 points, but we're driving as him next in Vegas, remember, so there's maybe still a chance we can bring him back into the play, and that could set up a really thrilling final race. But I mean, it felt like an open goal there, that we could, you know, come out of this one in a real comfortable position, but the Lady Luck had different ideas. Whatever it was, car issue, equipment issue, whatever, both me and Piastri out of it, and that set up a very interesting last two races. Guys, if you have enjoyed this one, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.